10 years ago, Michael Hurst and I, at the Public Theater, got some pretty amazing news. A show that we'd produced, that we developed quite intimately and intensely, and then we moved to Broadway, that this play had won the Pulitzer Prize. This play, Top Dog, Underdog, by Susan Laurie Parks, the first African-American woman in the history of the American theater to win a Pulitzer Prize for drama. What better way than to celebrate that anniversary and to celebrate that extraordinary play than to open our season with Top Dog, Underdog. Our next show, called No Place to Go, which is a musical by an artist that I've fallen madly in love with in the last few years.
I think of the piece as being kind of a love letter to my coworkers, and a query to the universe, and a protest letter to my company and my country. It's a hoot.
Two River has done a number of Shakespeare's plays, but never one of the history plays. So I thought it would be good to introduce the audience to Henry V. And I thought an interesting play for us all to sit in a room and think about at this moment in our own history, when we've been at war for over 10 years. We have commissioned a musical adaptation of Kenneth Grahame's great family classic that we're calling A Wind in the Willows Christmas. It's a piece of the Wind in the Willows story that ends up with everybody around the Christmas tree at the end. We are going to do a production of Noel Coward's Present Laughter that Michael Comsty will star in.
I said to him, so what do you want me to say about Present Laughter? And he said, well, basically, it's about a guy who used to be a really great matinee idol, but now he's a little too old, and he's getting insecure about his place in the theater, and so he throws everyone around him into a vortex of neurosis. It's kind of like your life.
Continuing in what I hope will really become a great tradition for the theater, to bring very brand new work by young and emerging and interesting playwrights. It's a brand new play called The Electric Baby. It's a really sweet and moving and beautiful play about families, about very odd and quirky families who have a hard time kind of figuring out how to make their way in the world. I can't quite find the amount of hyperbole and over-the-topness to describe the next play that I want to introduce you to. This is a piece of work that I feel like is seminal to the American theater. It's a play and a performance like nothing else I've ever seen in my life.
It's about my relationship with my father, who is a German-Jewish Holocaust survivor. He left his hometown in Germany in 1937 when he was 15 years old. I think I always had a sense that I wanted to tell this story about what had happened to him. And I sort of couldn't figure out the way to do it until I took a trip with him back to his hometown. We went to Auschwitz. The other sort of piece of it is that my father, every year my Midwestern family, my extended Midwestern family, would take this trip to the Cedar Point Amusement Park in Sandusky, Ohio, where really until a few years ago my father loved to ride the roller coasters. So part of what happens in the play is that it switches back and forth very quickly from the amusement park to the concentration camp, and for a moment here and there you don't necessarily know where you are. And I was interested in the way that humor and horror are flip sides of the same coin.
I just want to reiterate, it's really funny. Lisa's one of the funniest people I know. And the play and the performance and the experience is is wildly improbable in how moving, deep and profoundly moving it is. But most of the time, really, really funny. Ruben Santiago Hudson, who did such a great job directing Jitney, is going to come back, yes, to direct Two Trains Running.
He's a first-generation Wilsonian because he hung out with August. He won a Tony for 7 guitars on Broadway with August sitting right there in the audience, telling him what to do. So he knows August Wilson, and he showed us how to do Jitney, and he's going to show us how to do Two Trains Running. You have two bards in your season. You have Shakespeare and you have August Wilson. He's our American bard.